Good morning, everybody. Beautiful Saturday morning, November 21st, 2020. It is a beautiful morning. There's the ducks quacking. Our job for today is to take about $900 worth of steel here. Some of these two 12 gauge and one 11 gauge sheets. I had the steel company make a bend and make a cut for me, but we want to take that steel there and make a chip top. I'll walk out here and show you what I'm talking about. We have that new chipper that I showed you a week or so ago. We want to be able to chip into one of these trucks. Got a sun problem there. So we want to take this bed and put a chip top on it so that we can chip into it. So that's the goal. So here's what we're starting with for steel. I asked the steel company, Hoover Steel, good people, to take one 60 by 120 inch sheet. I bought 3, and slice it long ways in half, and then bend a 60-degree 1-inch flange on each side. So I've got 2 of them for the sides. Then I have the 2 other sheets. Now they only had one 12 gauge sheet, so one of the 3 sheets here is slightly lighter than the other 2, so I'll have to figure that out. And then I have 6 1.5 by 12 feet long by 1/8 inch angle iron, and for intermediate stuff I've got 6 3/4 by 1/8 inch. So that's what we're starting with. Let's just hope my right triangle calculations work here, and the angles are good and the bends are good. So we'll get this unloaded and go from there. Boy, what a beautiful day. I know I just said that, but spent a few minutes cleaning what's left of the space in the garage up. This might be our layout area here. The leftover cardboard will definitely be having a fire. So let's get this unloaded. We'll back that truck up here and we'll start. Okay, just a quick update here. What we've got going here is we've got these 2 long rails that are going to sit on top of the lumber. Pete, the donkey's hungry, and had to notch that out a little bit. So these had to cut and bend that back straight. So we're kind of fixing the bed as we go along here. So it's 88.25 inches from here, oop, there's my finger, to here. So now I'll take you inside. All right, here's the top section of this. Here's my angle iron that I've just got spring clamped there. I've used my trusty plumb bob there because I'm a surveyor by trade. And I've plumbed it down onto the floor and got the marks on here. Then I extended them to that 88 1/4 on both sides. And then I'm going to take a straight edge. I'm not going to get this perfect here. Okay, there's my angle. Now I'm going to cut that angle out of here, and my goal is to cut this part of the angle and then just bend the top part down to that point there. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm gonna try to get this going. A few observations or a few lessons learned. This steel is way thicker than it needed to be. Okay, this is 11 gauge, which is slightly under 1/8 of an inch. They didn't have 12 gauge, which they only had one sheet of 12 gauge, which they split and bent for me. And then they gave me 2 sections of this. So this is really heavy. And I didn't want the chip top to add too much weight to the GVW because, you know, that's less weight you can put in it, but it is what it is. So that's where we're at now. It's lunchtime, and I'll keep you posted. Okay, now I've just fine-tuned my layout. There was a vertical component here. The hypotenuse of my triangle here is 2 foot 4 inches. So, which is that from 48. So I had to lower this with the jacks, true it all up, and now I've got my layout lines. I'm going to cut these out, bend this down, and then I got to put another angle on the end so that it'll weld right up to that other thing. So that's where we're at now. All right, well, near the end of the day here. Going to call it a day, as a matter of fact. This is where I'm at. This is what will be the back. You will chip into this. I just have 3 of the supports in there now. These corners, there's the last time I showed you, I cut that triangle out of there, bent these down. This angle right here is the one that was on the truck last you saw. Now, this flange, the steel company did a great job bending that. Which I gave them the angle there and the distance. That's the hypotenuse I was talking about of 2 foot 4 inches. But sometimes it gets a little funky when you're measuring from here or measuring from the inside of that corner versus the outside of the corner. So I wanted to fit this up. This actually, that's just sitting on there now, and it's all fitted up. Same on the other side. Now, this, obviously, the truck is 11 foot 7, and my sheets stop at 10. So I'm going to have to fabricate something to close out the front here. But it all worked out well. True, square. I love that. When stuff works out like that. You'll see these, this is all going to be welded up. And that'll get rigid. I can tell you this, putting this 60-degree bend in these sides really added strength here, and I might not have to do so much welding. I am going to put a continuous bead all the way down both sides to seal that up from the weather. And I have some more framing to do on the inside to take the bellies and the bows out of the sheet metal. The only sheet metal that's welded on here right now is the top is tacked. And I used that piece to help me square the whole thing up, because staying square is a big component of this too. You don't want to get out of square, and that's easy to do. So that's where we're at the end of the first day. All right, tomorrow's another day. Just a quick update. Just got back from church a little while ago. Jumped right in this. And I started to just tack this sheet metal in place. So, just enough to hold it down. And I just wanted to show you that. See how that's way down? Well, what I do there is I come under here. I got my floor jack up there, and I just, let's see, can I pump and film? Oh yeah. See how that just tightens right up? Now, I'll set this down and weld that right while it's up there. So that's basically how I've been going around there. I'll do one more there, probably one here. Now the sheet metal is attached. I'm thinking on putting it on the truck now, because I have a lot of yet to be fabbed up front, that whole bevel up front. So I might do a little bit more welding here, and then I'll be moving it to the truck. Okay, we got it out of the shop now. We borrowed a king size fork extenders, horribly unsafe. I made a measurement, and without these blocks on there, this skid steer won't make it high enough. So that's what our goal is. Let me guide him in there. All right. Okay, we're on the truck. But now I got a problem. So, I always brag about being plumb and square and all that, and the cap is exactly plumb and square, no problem there. But the truck bed isn't. Okay, 25.5 or so there. It's basically 23.5 there. So it's 2 inches out of square. About 7 inches to the back. And about 5 inches to to the back. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to take this off. I'm going to slide this whole thing forward, put a flat front on here, and then this back side here will come up about a foot or so up, which probably shouldn't hurt the usability. You never fill right to the absolute edge of this thing anyway. So it's a little look on the inside here. These are 1-inch angles, just put in there to keep it from flexing too much. These the steel company, when they bent these, man, that created a lot of strength. I've got some stitch welds here. I may go back and put some more here, mainly to keep chips out than for structural. All right, well, let me do some more thinking about this stinking issue, and I'll bring you back. Okay, got the front on. Got to weld the top. I did weld these just because it was handy, but this is what I'm up against up here. My plan was to put this angle welded onto the front here because I need some support there, and have it just sit on top of this bed. However, I've got a ridiculous 2-inch gap down there. So I think I'm going to put this angle on the chip top and then cut a strip of sheet metal to seal this up. I know it's a butcher job, but I couldn't fathom how much this thing has gotten out of whack over the years. But I guess stuff like that happens. Anyway, getting there. This is what it looks like from the operator's seat. Pretty scary. Just a quick update. I have that strip of metal in there. It's setting on the angle iron, and I beveled it down to keep the water from coming back on there. So I have to weld that up yet. Now I have welded tabs. There'll be 3 on each side. Where I just came under here, welded a nut to the bottom, and put a 1/2-inch bolt in there. And one of the things I did is the hole through this is 3/4, and that gives us, as this thing moves and grooves, that'll help us put it on and off better, easily. All right. Okay. Quick walk around. All fab is done. All the welding is done. I did weld a solid all the way along here, but not much more than the last time you saw on those stringers. I'm going to just gob the paint in there, and if it's a problem, I'll caulk it later. Here's that 3/4-inch hole, and that gives me a little bit of play with a 1/2-inch bolt. 6 tabs total for bolt down. get a look at under here. Okay, you can see how far out of line that is, that angle iron there. And then I took this and made the cover. So all right, I'm going to give it a coat of Rust-Oleum, and then put it on the truck. We're done. Just a little safety precaution. I thought I'd drill a hole in the end of those and put a cotter pin in there. It's I don't trust anybody to keep a bolt tight anymore. Okay. Well, there's the final product there. Painted Rust-Oleum black. See if I can get a shot of the inside here. Put some seam sealer in all of the joints, as a matter of fact, including this one up here that I was just going to paint. We ended up putting seam sealer for bodywork in there, which I think worked out really good. All right, got a snowstorm coming. Have a good one, everybody.